Hello, everyone. This is Alex again, and today we have a new episode of our Commission Corner podcast. And this time with a guest from RevOps again, Ivan Vakulenko from Wildix. Warm welcome to you, Ivan.
Thank you. Thank you, Alex. It's a pleasure to be here.
We're really looking towards this podcast because we will have the chance to learn from a director of revenue operations. And before we go into topics, may you want to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about who you are and what your role is?
Yeah, sure. So, hello to everybody listening to us. All right. My name is Ivan. I'm originally from Ukraine. I work as a RevOps at company Wildix. It's a unified communication company. In a nutshell, we sell communication to improve business efficiency and performance. And when I talk about communication, it's about all possible layers from voice, video, chats, and everything is tied up with AI and agentic AI solution, which is, good timing right now. And we definitely believe that this should bring amazing impact on every possible conversation. That is why we have it inside. Talking about me, my career started from a B2B lead generation in America business in the US. I was working for a company called Science, CIN and CS. And, after streamlined career growth from SDR to the client-facing leader, I was leading BDRs and SDRs. I found myself spending more and more time to looking for data, digging for some insights, matching them with the real business needs. And at some point, I just find myself that RevOps, it's not what I've chosen, it's RevOps chosen me. Because it's a fun fact. Technically, the more I spent on data insights, the more I realize that this is really a power. And then at some point, I figure out that there is a position called RevOps operations. And when I list what it entails inside, I figure out that exactly what I'm doing. So this is how I became a RevOps in a nutshell.
And I guess especially transitioning from a sales leader perspective, where you also were used to working with dashboards, with data to also help the sales team to improve. I think the shift or transition was not very big to Rev, or am I wrong?
No, not at all. So my focus specifically was supporting our account executives and the VP of sales with pre-sale. So my team was pre-selling. And I figured out that this question, why, that was not only in my mind, but in many heads at the time, like why we are not hitting or why this campaign is working great. Every time, like just not get gut feeling, but understanding why. This question moved me to data, and then I went to IT team. And sometimes IT team were really busy. So I started figuring out how to build a dashboard myself. And then step by step, I've become in a position that I knew how to build some analytics dashboard for some of our clients. And those clients say, yeah, this really works. So it's a data-driven decision. And, transition was really smooth, I would say. So I was doing it for some time.
It's funny that you mention it because most of our guests who are working as a RevOps in a RevOps position, they share your story from times to times that they are not originally passionate about revenue operations. They barely knew about it, but then they quietly shift into the role, and now they love it because they really have impact and can make data-driven decisions.
I'm not very old, but I remember the time when my manager came to me and said, hey, Ivan, there is a new role called demand generation. Let me tell you what is it. So it's different, but roles are coming, the market is moving. And so maybe 8 years ago, demand generation was something absolutely new. Now it's like basic stuff. Same with RevOps. I believe it was a mix of sales enablement and sales operation, maybe slightly finance, and then people start verticalize those initiatives, and then they start hiring people for revenue operations, whatever it's called.
Yeah, nowadays some people are even discussing if demand generation is still a thing to do, or if you're more looking into buyer intent or other data. So things that have been new 8 years ago are now outdated already.
For sure.
But always interesting to learn from your story. So is there anything particularly that you now love about being revenue operations manager?
So I definitely love that the revenue operation is about data behind the decision. So when I come to the team and say, hey, well, here we have a very promising project. I'm not just saying like I think it's going to be great. I'm saying that here's number are saying us that this and this and this triggers indicate us a potential uplift of maybe 130%, whatever, of MRR. And they're like, okay, can you say about triggers more? Because they already not just people are not driven by some thoughts, they're driven by numbers, thoughts, and maybe some exciting news that it's possible to do. And I also love when nobody see how something is working or why it's actually successful, and then you dig into this layer by layer and you figure out the small insight that actually makes this machine moving. And then you're like, okay, we need to repeat this diamond in every machine we have here in the house, and it start working. This is really make me passionate about it. When you figure out the thing, it's driving this domino effect.
Looking for data diamonds.
Yeah, people say data gems. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe also talking about finding the gems. When you joined Wildix when you joined the company, were you the first person in the RevOps department and had to build RevOps from scratch, or was there already something there?
I was exactly the first person. Yeah, I was exactly the first person. So they were looking for somebody at that point who gonna match many different data points from different departments, and not only match but build these data sets. Because let's say finance, and it's never-ending processes. I wouldn't say that we right now, every possible company right now, they generating more data that they actually wisely consume, from my perspective. And it's evolving more and more and more, so they generate more and not always using it smart. Smart may be enough. And this company, we're looking for a guy who can sit down and spend time on figuring out on some, how to back it together and start looking at in this behind the scene, or why it's happening, and try to find as a minimum some correlations, as a maximum some really gems we talk about, and then use this to impact the company to grow year over year, etc.
So we have already had some guests already on this podcast who are also experienced RevOps leaders, but have recently joined, let's say, a startup to build up RevOps from scratch. Since you have done the same, how do you approach it?
So it's a bit different because my company, it was not a startup any longer. They had a history of more than 20 years and 7 markets when I joined them. So they are a very, very established build company, and it makes a lot of sense and easier for them just to add this new function a couple years ago. And first thing I started is just at the very end, I'm a negotiator, collaborator, mediator, a person who connect many different teams. So I'm dealing with the C-suite, but I need to be able to speak their language. For example, the most popular Hollywood, right? Sales and marketing. It's everywhere. Why? Because marketing and sales worry about the company result, but in the same time, they see it from a different perspective. So you need to adjust. This is what I started doing first. I went and maybe around 3 months, I was listening to how company is working, because it was working very, very well without me. So they won't just go up, go more. And I was listening how they doing it, what they doing it specifically, where they feel a pain, what are strategic expectations for 5-10 years company has. And then step by step, after 3 months, I map in my mind, okay, here is the red lines maybe, where company is going. Then the next step, here's the strategic initiatives company wants to do, and here is the sponsors, people who wants to this strategic initiative to run. So you need to team up with them first. if your goals matching with theirs, and then step by step build a one big future together based on company initiative. So company always should have some main goal, North Star, and address like, hey, we're going there. You're like, okay. And then any possible, Kanban, lean, whatever, everything, technically speaking, moving us to this North Star, just with different pacing and instruction.
Already sounds like you can hear already the experience that you have in RevOps, because it's very similar to Christina Cadell, who's also recently joined Combo as an experienced RevOps leader, and also approach it very strategically like you did. But I guess that this comes with the experience. Now,
thank you. But I mean, company was really strong, and they know what they want, which is really good. Because in the past I was consulting with some companies about operation efficiency, about I was not saying this RevOps, I was saying that operation processes, because some companies just need business processes, specifically startups, by the way. And they start from scratch, like, okay, how's the pipeline should look like? And like, okay, guys, let's sit down and I will take a pen and copybook and let's play a couple games. And we play like in a kindergarten, which is really good. I believe this is the best option to teach them, because they understand from scratch what does it mean deal, what does it mean upsell, cross-sell, how it should go actually from my lead generation experience, from the top of the funnel to the bottom, and then to the customer success, etc., etc. So this is really fun.
And looking at Wildix as a company, maybe you can give us a bit more information of what the company actually does. I've learned it's about sales, about communication, artificial intelligence. So is AI the key thing that Wildix is focusing on right now, or what would you see as the key area?
So company is all about communication. The unified communication, it's a mixture of all possible ways we communicate with our colleagues, or maybe business communicate with their clients, etc. What's really important to say about my company, we're a channel first company. So we work with, we enable our partners and go alongside with them together to make their clients successful and happy with the solution, UCaaS solution we provide. So UCaaS is Unified Communication as a Service. Most of the time we have this subscription model, OpEx, etc. And this is solutions that the mixture of solutions that utilize absolutely different verticals. So we may say that we're industry agnostic, because from the hospitality, from the hotels, to the Coca-Cola business, to some card center dealers, and any possible business, even small, tiny lawyer might have a phone or might have a need in communicating with his clients. And so we give him a solution to be able to connect with the entire world. So it's a global. And if they need, let's talk call centers. Call centers need a very unified communication solutions that gonna give them a chance to do very customized things, like do many calls, approach many clients at the same time, have some internal rules. And on top of this, it's AI. So if we talk about general AI, as every possible communication can be transcribed, can be analyzed by AI, and AI gives many insights. By the way, revenue operations love it, in short, because everything I want, I can see in our analytics under hood. Every possible chat call, I can see many things, sentiments. And then when it comes to agentic AI, those are solutions we have right now just released Wilma AI. It's I would say it's a strong solution that provide agent workflow that can do something for you. I wouldn't say this is something new nowadays, but with all the background of unified communication connected to this solution, this is massive. So company businesses solve our issues in selling. So we have a couple verticals. Maybe it's not a vertical, but function orientation. So we really reinforce sales. And in the same time, we have some specific vertical solution, like say X hoppers, and this solution specifically for front stores. And this is complex solutions that enable front stores to reduce shrinkages, prevent thieves. It's connected with cameras. It's connected with every possible employee. And these people communicate with final clients through the AI solution, and system constantly improve and give some suggestions where to go, who is buying what, how to support customer if somebody is absent. Maybe we have we need to fulfill something, or I don't know what is the code about this stuff. So everything, this AI embedded in headset and other appliance supporting stores. So most of the time we are industry agnostic, but we also heavily establishing on verticals.
And when you say you are agnostic, there's probably some more details to your ideal customer profile, right? So even if you are approaching different industries, different verticals, these companies in those verticals need to meet certain criteria that you have set up for them or set for them, right?
Well, it's very connected to our partners. So since we're not going direct, our partners is our best friends. And when we deal with some partners, they have some database, their own client base they deal with. And I'm saying industry agnostic because technically speaking, you never know who's going to be a client of this partner at the beginning, right? Yeah, they're supposed to provide a unified communication too. So they will be able to support service and provide the best service to the client. But at the same time, they serve local businesses and some maybe international. And this can be everything that needs communication. And as you understand, even now we utilizing one of the tool like from a unified communication world, this Riverside. Technically speaking, it's also a part of communication. Otherwise, we won't be able to chat.
Absolutely, yeah. So when building up this sales funnel, you mentioned that you're more and more shifting into direct sales from partner sales away, or it will be no, okay.
No, we were dealing with partners. This is our distinguisher. We're a channel plus company. Many other competitors are actually doing both, and I don't know for good for bad, but for them. But we are happy with what we have, and we build a strong relationship for years with partners.
Okay, got it. Yeah. During your time as a RevOps manager, you also posted on LinkedIn, I think, that you succeeded to accelerate BDR onboarding time, right?
Yeah.
Is there a specific approach that you can share today?
Well, yeah. This is AI again, to be frank.
Surprise.
So yeah. How comes, right? So we figure out with so there was a case. I was looking on ways how to improve onboarding process, and from my previous experience where we were building agents already, I'm building them myself from time to time. I knew how to write good prompt, how to write good instruction to feed information in a way there were less hallucinations, etc. Nowadays, it's maybe not very important. Every new generation of, let's say, GPT, better and better with it. But back to 2022, maybe, it was a big deal. Who knows how to write it? And so with AI, I build a bot agent and gave this agent to task to our BDRs, and those BDRs start utilizing it, and they realize that actually they can maybe 5 out of 7 times go and ask this agent, right, and not spend time of a manager, and the manager can focus on something more important at this time. So step by step, we realize how efficient it is, and then we just quantify the success. So it's as simple as it. But now this solution also embedded in our solution. Obviously, like agentic AI, technically, this is a chain of flows that can be done, right? And so I just utilize one line how it can be used, but it also can be used in many different ways.
So you basically made use of a knowledge base that was able to replicate the knowledge of the sales manager. So the BDRs were able to ask this chatbot, let's say, or this agent to get an answer without having to contact the manager.
Yeah, this is so what we technically we embedded this knowledge, but not just throw everything you have and it's done. You have to instruct in a way it support in a right approach your newcomers. In the same time, it should be smart enough to realize who is asking. So if it's a newcomer, so you should approach and give step-by-step instruction. If it's somebody mature enough, you need to provide maybe deeper insights. Also, I really love personalization. So when it comes to BDR, so when it comes to sales, the better you prepare to the call, right? The more you prepare it, the high chance of close rate, a win rate. And so this bot was specifically very good in finding personalized touch points with a potential prospect, which was really good, given advantage. So instead of spending maybe 5-10 minutes looking on LinkedIn and other solutions about this company, about these people, you do a couple tweaks and you see some list of preparation. And this is okay and normal nowadays. But in the same time, when it's matching together with a person who just joined a company and know nothing about this, it's really efficient. So you can start from day one, maybe not zero, but day one, producing results, not even knowing exactly how it works. You just get that information, say it, you see it works, and you learning that, okay, it works. That's it.
And at that time, you already get a really motivational boost, right? So at which company you join and already have impact from day one.
Absolutely. And maybe we can talk about compensation plans should start a bit earlier. But no, I believe there is zero company zero company may say, we don't want to incentivize top performers even if they just started. No, I believe if they just started and they done a great result, this result impact company with MRR wise, welcome, here's your bonus. Why not?
That's a very good transition because the last point that we want to talk about with you is also the topic of compensation and commissions. And I don't know if you can share a bit about this, but how do you use commissions at Wildix, Ivan?
So in companies like mine, we have versatile network of commissions, I would say. It's a very, we have different departments, and different departments, of course, motivated with appropriate KPIs. So usually it has from one to couple elements which balanced in a way employee and company benefits the most. So maybe you may ask me something more specific. I can get that.
Yeah. So maybe, So maybe to rephrase this question, do you use like an on-target commission, for example, where you say, okay, the sales rep has a variable component of a salary and has a target in front of him or her, and then they need to have a certain attainment to earn something on this?
So we have a mix, but so we are a company with lots of sales, and of course, too much. There is nothing motivate better sales than to target, from my perspective, right? So this is exactly what we utilize, and we see a power of it.
Yeah, I think it's important what you mentioned, that you cannot really have this one straight compensation plan, but probably looking at different departments and different roles to weigh it in a potential way. Some will be weighed more into on-target earnings and others maybe into other bonus schemes. So are you utilizing compensation plans in that way, that you put a new plan on a new product, for example, that you launch? You mentioned that this new AI agent, WEM, if I'm not wrong, has been launched by your company. And are you now putting more incentives on that, or is it independent of any products?
So we have different subdivision, and with the new products. So this product is I wouldn't say it's a small or big. It's a good product, but in the same time, is a piece of our ecosystem. So technically, we have verticals, and we segment people by verticals, for example. And yes, some people selling one type of solution, some people another type of solution, and their targets might be connected to those products. But those products are so big and actually intersect from time to time. Also possible. And the compensation plan in this case has all the classic details like accelerators, the accelerators, some limitations or maybe potential caps in case it's needed. So I see the cap, a cap or maybe a limit. This is an instrument to prevent unusual situations or unexpected situations for both counterparts, I would say. But
You mean
usually,
like the 30 billion Oracle deal with OpenAI?
uh, yeah, we build compensation plan in a way. If it brings company a result, it definitely pay out. Like definitely connected. So there is no limit, no caps, and etc. But when we talk about some, like, let me say me personally, if I talk about some new products, some new solutions, something absolutely new pipeline, new market, etc. You never know how it's gonna go, right? And it might go bad, and then nobody gonna earn based on the classic approach. It might go very well, and it's okay because our model actually works okay with overperformance. And so to secure everybody, it might be needed to have some specific notes about how the product should work. But overall, no caps usually.
Makes sense. So when looking, and maybe that's one of the last questions diving into commissions, when looking at compensation plans at different companies, is there one key takeaway that you would like to share with a revenue operations manager who's just about to create his or her first incentive plan at a company with, let's say, 30 or 50 sales employees?
Yeah, so exactly what we just highlighted. When revenue operation is building a new compensation plan, of course, the first challenge is the quota, right? What quota is supposed to be. So if we go with a classic approach and estimate something right, $1 cost $1 cost maybe 20-30 cents, right? So 1 to 5. We talking about commission to target. Then this is the first balance revenue ops should look at. So to set the appropriate target and appropriate reward for this target being achieved. Second one is definitely if we're talking about sales team, there should be no limit. There should be the sky is not limit. The most awful thing could happen to sales when he or she got promised that opportunities are limited, then a person brought a great result, generated amazing or MRR or revenue, and at the very end, we start talking about, hey, this cannot be paid this way, etc. So this is our golden rule for every possible revenue operation to make people get what they deserve. With a full compensation line and to defend this in case somebody wants to break it up in the middle of the way. And in the same time, while building all these models, it always should be beneficial for a company, which is obvious, easy to do. You just count. You should count mass, and that's it.
All right, thanks for sharing that insight. Now, to wrap up the episode, we at the end always play a little game with our guests. In this game is like a game where we give you two options, option 1 or option B. and you
All
should
right.
just decide with your gut feeling what you are tending towards to. And this
Let's-
the topic is about, let's say you imagine you have now a sales team in front of you, let's say 60 people, and you are about to create a new commission plan.
Sure.
Would you rather go with a fixed income, or would you incorporate a commission component into it?
So definitely commission B, I would say.
All right. And would you make it dependent on on a target, like decide for an on-target earning for the team, or would you share the revenue per closed deal?
Well, the more mature way is on target, from my perspective. When company just starting and it's not a big company, I would say the more secure way is to go revenue share, because this conservative approach gives opportunity not to make a mistake in calculation. So you always know that some percent goes to sales, some percent goes to pay this thing, and some percent goes as a final result. It's a simple math. But for more mature companies, definitely a target, because target is something strategic. We drive in and going ahead. It could be 2, 3, 4, 5x times, depending on how a company is growing.
Mm-hmm. And would you also incorporate in this commission plan a cliff, like a minimum threshold that the salesperson has to reach to be able to earn commissions? Or would you say without a cliff, because every percentage should count toward a payout?
I would use this. I would take a cliff. So if you answer one option, I would take a cliff. But if I can amend to it, so cliff should go with some. So salt should go with salty should go with sweet part, right? And if we take a cliff, we may go with the more aggressive accelerators. And in this way, you balance this, guys. So the cliff is, let's say, whatever, 70%, how many we decide. But then we give you aggressive accelerators. So we really reward overperformer.
Which leads us to the last either or question. We touched based on it, but would it be a capped or an uncapped commission model?
I'd prefer to have uncapped. So the model should be built in a way it's uncapped, and people can feel themselves like entrepreneur, like people working in the company, but with an entrepreneur mind. And the only way they can feel this way, it's when they know that there is no limit, so they can go more. It's just they need to find way.
That really reminds me of a LinkedIn post that I recently posted. So I'm totally with you on that. And to be frank here, everyone else that is on the or was on this episode or this podcast already is in line with you. So everything everyone says needs to be uncapped, and that's something that we also like to hear. But with these words, Ivan, it's a wrap. Thank you for being our guest today. Thank you for sharing your way of becoming a RevOps person, and also how you utilize AI right now and your view on commissions.
Thank you for hosting me. It was a pleasure. Thank you, Gregor, Alex.
Thank you. Bye.